From Atlanta, Georgia, welcome to Fearfully and Wonderfully Me, a podcast for women on leadership and life skills with Rhea Story. Rhea shares powerful life and leadership principles, helping you maximize your potential and become the woman God created you to be.
Welcome to 360 Influence, a life and leadership success podcast for women. Today, I want to share with you, I received a message from one of my many connections on LinkedIn. I've got probably, almost 30,000 followers on LinkedIn. So I get a lot of messages from social media. And I love to interact with people and be able to add value with people. So I really try to just, sit down every morning and answer those messages. And this morning, I got a message from a connection, fairly recent connection. And she sent me a message and said, "Hey, Rhea, I found out your story 2 nights ago at midnight. I was having one of those days and I was searching for answers." And she goes on to explain a little bit about her situation. And she finishes with, "Reading your story about limiting beliefs just gave me hope and a little more strength. Thank you." So it was a great way to start my morning as I read this morning that my podcast and my blog from last week was able to add value and encourage her and some of the challenges. So I sent her a message back, and then I thought, you know what? Challenge is something that we all face in life. Whether you're dealing with an aging parent or even someone in your family who's got cancer, or maybe you're going through a tough divorce, or maybe you're sick yourself. Whatever we're facing in life, we're all going to be facing challenges and adversities. And it's just simply a fact that life is hard. And what I'm so proud about this young lady that reached out to me is that she's facing a challenge personally and professionally, but she's searching actively for information and skills to equip herself. And I think it really comes down to we've got to be intentional about equipping ourselves. We've got to be learning, we've got to be reading or growing in some way. Maybe if reading's not your thing, maybe it's listening to podcasts or watching TEDx talks. There's so many ways out there now for us to be able to develop ourselves, to develop our minds. And every single thing that we learn gives us another tool in our toolbox, so that when we face the next challenging situation or the next difficult situation in life, we've got a new tool, a new skill that we can pull out of the toolbox and apply to that situation. So proactive people, we have to be proactive. Proactive is responding based on what we truly value rather than just the emotions of the moment. So if we're proactive, it means intentionally developing ourselves, even just a little bit. You don't have to sit down and read a whole book today, but if you'll just, learn one little nugget every single day, one little gem of wisdom will help equip you for the next challenge in life. And they're going to be more challenges. There's going to be failures. There's going to be difficult situations. One of my friends gave me a beautiful, it's called a mantra bracelet. And there's a little card in there with it. And it says, "Never be afraid of failure and know that it is another stepping stone." And I think so often in life, we look at challenges or obstacles or failures and they discourage us because we feel like we're not successful. But every single one can just be a stepping stone. It's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about reading in order to develop myself. I try to read an average of one book a week on personal growth or leadership, because I know life is tough and I know there's going to be challenges. And so I'm always trying to learn and grow myself so that I've got more tools in my toolbox. Not just so that I can help my own situation, but also so that I can pass on those nuggets to my listeners on my podcast or readers of my blog. So I just finished Marianne Williamson's book yesterday. Her book, Return to Love, Reflections on the Principles of A Course in Miracles. And I got a lot of quotes out of here, but one of the good quotes that I really love to share with you on this topic of equipping ourselves to meet challenges and failures is she says, and I quote, "There is nothing we have been through or seen or done that cannot be used to make our lives more valuable now. We can grow from any experience, and we can transcend any experience. And that was powerful for me because, again, a lot of times we look at failures as roadblocks and we allow them to discourage us or turn us around. And really, we feel like if we face enough of those, that we just simply feel like giving up altogether. But when we learn to look at them as opportunities to grow from them, then it's simply a question of what can I learn from this? And if we find we're still struggling with the answer to that question, then we need to be intentional about growing ourselves personally, professionally. Just be intentional about reading a quote every day. You don't have to read a whole book like I do every week, but maybe just read a page a day. Just being intentional about growing your skill set, because that's really where equipping ourselves come from. And really, we're the only ones that can do it. It's kind of like getting fit physically. Nobody can do it for you. When I teach my group fitness classes, I always tell my class members, I'm like, you know what, I wish I could do it for you, but this growing ourselves either personally or professionally or even physically, we've got to do it because we've got to grow from the experience itself. And we've got to take the responsibility to be able to empower ourselves. So I just wanted to share those thoughts with you this morning. I hope the rest of your week is amazing. And if it's not, then the question is, what can we do to change that? How can we make it an amazing life, an amazing day, an amazing week? Until next time.
Start increasing your influence and maximizing your potential with Ria's audiobooks. Available at audible.com, amazon.com, and iBooks. Please visit riastory.com to learn about Ria's books, resources, speaking, and training programs. Thanks for listening.